Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to my Cyberwall's third exercise builder session. I hope you're all good today, and thank you very much for taking the time to join us. So my name is Angela from Cyberwall. I'm the CEO, and I have two members of the team here. We have Stuart from support, who will be in the chat, and also Estelle from sales. She's also there in the chat to answer your questions. So I'm not sure who's here. If you've been here on previous weeks, hopefully you'll be able to do all 4 sessions. The SACE points that we give for this training is based on you attending all 4 sessions. But if you have missed one, don't stress. We will do the attendance registers at the end when we get your SACE numbers. And if you've missed any, we'll just send you a video and you can just confirm to us that you've actually watched it, and then we can apply for the SACE points for you. Okay, one more piece of admin is you will see on the top right next to the chat, there's a poll. I've just done a quick poll, which you can do at the end, just to make sure that you know what you're doing after this session. It just helps us to know that we've run the session properly. So if you can just click on there and answer the poll. It's confidential, by the way. Nobody sees your answer, and I can't see who's answered yes or no. So yeah, so if you can complete the poll at the end. So we're going to be about 30 minutes, as always. I don't like running over time because I know everyone's busy and tired, and I'm sure you want to get away. What we're going to do today is we're going to build 2 different exercise types on my Cyberwall. Last week we did the multiple choice and the true and false. And today we're going to do 2 different types, which is the missing word, which I really like. It's very easy to do. And it can be used for any subject, actually, languages, social sciences, even maths. And we're going to do what's called a short text as well, or a paragraph text, which is a manually marked exercise, which obviously is a higher order type of question on Bloom's taxonomy that you can use in any subject. Okay, so the missing word will be an auto-marked one, and the short text or paragraph text is a manually marked one. Obviously, by creating your own exercises on my Cyberwall, you'll have them all stored there on your profile to use, and you can also share them with your colleagues in your school. If we're missing any content, you can obviously build your own exercises for that content, and you can use any curriculum for it. And obviously, when you build these exercises, you can use our images, our maps, etc. as well, and plus your own stuff. Okay, so we're going to start. I'm going to turn my screen. I forgot to do that last week for the first few minutes, and I was gently reminded, so hopefully it's working now. And I've logged into my Cyberwall. Hopefully you should all be able to see my screen now. If you have any questions while I'm doing the demo, please put your questions in the chat box, and Stuart or Estelle will try and answer. I will come back into the session at the end and see if I've covered everything and see if everyone's happy. Right, so let's just have a look at the 2 types that we're going to build. I'm just going to grade 5 NS just to show you an assessment. So with an assessment, we generally build the assessments as many different activity types on top of each other. Let's just have a look at this one so you can see what I mean. So what we've done here, part 1 is a drag and drop. Part 2, this is what we're going to build. I'm actually just going to copy this instruction because I'm going to use the same one when we build a missing word. So this is a missing word. So you can see here they have to put the words into the correct words. They're choosing from a word bank here. You can have a word bank or not have a word bank. It's up to you. And we've also put some incorrect answers there. So there's actually more answers than questions to make it a little bit more tricky because there's 8 questions and I think there's 12 answers. The learner will have to put in exactly as they've been written here, not with any funny capital letters or punctuation. It will be marked incorrectly if they do that. And when we build it in a minute, you'll see why. Okay, so that's the first type we're going to build. Here's a multiple choice. We built that last week. Here's one where we've used pictures, and there's 3 options here. And here's a true and false, which we built last week. And now here's the manually marked activity. So this you'll see always with an M on it, and that means it has to be manually marked by the teacher. So we're going to choose that if it's the type of question that the computer won't be able to mark. These will be the higher order questions where there's a variety of answers that the learner might answer. One important thing here, and I'll explain this to you when we do this, the marks have to be grouped together. You can't have a question with 1 mark, then another with 2, then one with 1, or then one with 2. If you have a look here, you'll see 1 mark for this question. That's one activity there. And then you'll see questions 2, 3, and 4 are 2 marks. They're all together in an activity. And yeah, they're all 2 marks. So there's 2 activities within that part. Okay, and when we build it, you'll have a look and you'll see why. All right, so we're going to go straight into the missing word one. And remember, when we build the exercise, we're building the memo and the exercise at the same time, and you will be able to access those through the buttons here. So if you're in a school where your learners don't have logins, it's fine. You can still print and use these as printable copies, or you can obviously show it on the screen. Okay, we're going to start with the missing word. So any questions, just put in the chat. And I'm just going to show you a maths missing word, just in case there's any maths teachers here. So we're going to go to, here we go, counting. Let's just have a look how a maths one would work. It doesn't matter whether it's a words or numbers that you're using. It's built in the same way. So have a look at this example here. It's a counting one where they have to go from 7, 8, 8, 0 up to 7, 9. I'm obviously not going to do it all. I just want to show you how it marks 8, 2. Now, one thing just to take note of here, any punctuation must sit outside the text box here. Okay, so it must be separate so the learner doesn't get confused and know whether they must put in anything or not. So I've just put 2 answers in and I'm going to submit and it will auto mark. Okay, it's done. All right, so we're going to build one like this with the text boxes, not so many text boxes because it will take us so long. And we're going to go to the educator exercise page that we've been to the last 2 weeks. Hopefully everyone has attended the last 2 weeks and understands the layout of this page in terms of these ones that are things that we've already built. And we're going to build a new one by clicking on the yellow plus button. Okay, so I'm on my template now and I'm going to go to the details page first. And I'm going to put in the details of this exercise. I'm going to call this parts of speech. I'm going to do an English one. Again, I'm just choosing something very simple and quick just to demonstrate how to do it. So I'm going to make it grade 4, parts of speech. I'm just, again, creating this using the drop downs here. You must put something in each one of these fields. If you don't, your exercise will not save, okay? So you must choose where to put this exercise. So I'm going to have it published. Remember, publish means it's visible and live for your learners and other teachers to see. So you would keep it unpublished if you don't want anyone to see it yet. Okay, so if you're doing this as a test, keep it unpublished, for example, and then just publish it just before you want to do it. Okay, and I'm going to just tick that this is English and I'm going to save. And then I've captured all the details of the test. And I'm going to my next tab, which is the first one on the left, which is called Preview. Okay, so as for all the other ones that we've built so far, you're going to go to your plus button and you're going to choose the type of exercise that you're building. So I'm going to do missing words. It can be missing numbers. It's the same thing. Okay, I've clicked on there and my template appears. Again, like last week, you can change the size of your activity, but with the slider, but you don't need to. And you're going to put an instruction in. So you can type your instruction in here. Remember, I actually highlighted some to copy and paste. So I have just pasted it in from that other exercise assignment there, which is choose the correct word to complete the sentence, choose from the words in the tables below. Enter the word in the answer block with the same spelling and casing as given below. Okay, so you can actually create a word bank here. Let me do that quickly. I'm going to put my word bank in a little table here using the table icon. And I'm not going to go through all of these functions in the text editor, but it works very much like Word. So I'm going to put in the words they have to choose from. I'm just going to put in the 5 words for the answers, but you could put 10 in or you could put none in. It's up to you. But I'm just going to do this to make it easier for the grade 4s. and I've got all my answers there. So they have to choose one of these and they mustn't put it in a different case. I'm just centering my, oh, that's delete, don't want to do that. Sorry, let me just center my letters using this. Okay, there we go. And I'm just going to put a space in, and that is my instructions, and I'm going to now save them. Okay, so you can type them in or you can copy and paste. This is my dummy block, which I'm going to delete. Okay, delete. So the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to add a row. I've just used the normal one block row. Just in case you missed that, let me show you again. It's that one I'm going to use, and I'm going to go to the pencil where I'm going to start editing. So remember, I'm going to do this as a missing word. So I must choose missing word here. And it's asking me now for my sentence. So my sentence is going to be number one, which is going to say a noun. I'm making this really, really straightforward just to save time. Okay, a noun is a naming word. I'm going to add this. And my hidden word that I want them to fill in is noun. So I click on it, and it's going to give me some options as hidden. Okay, I've hidden it. I'm now going to do my next one. That's all I need to do. I'm just going to copy that down. So I've copied that row down and I'm clearing it and I'm putting in my next sentence, number two. A verb is a doing word. Again, I'm just making these very, very straightforward. And I press add. Verb is the word I want to hide, though I want them to answer. So I'm going to make it hidden. And I'm going to copy that down, clear it. Number three, you can see how easy this is. An adjective, what am I going to put here? Sorry, let me spell it correctly, that would help. An adjective describes a noun. Okay, add, I'm going to hide adjective. So you could do the same, you know, whatever you're doing here. You could have a word bank here, you could have numbers here like we did in that counting one. Just going to add a couple more, clear, and I'm going to add my fourth one, an adverb describes a verb, add, hide adverb, because that's what I want them to get, copy, clear, and number five, a pronoun replaces a noun, add, hide pronoun. Okay, obviously I could have a lot more questions, but just for the sake, it's so easy, this one. Yeah, I've actually just made them really simple and short and 5 questions. So you can see I've added all my 5. It's obviously advisable to save it as you go along, especially now we have load shedding starting again today. I'm lucky I've only got it at 6, so I was worried about getting this session done. Okay, so I'm done. I've saved it. I'm going to close it, and let's go have a look at it. That's what it looks like there, but let's have a look what it looks like on live. So I'm going to grade 4 English. I'm going to parts of speech where I put in an educator exercise. Here it is, parts of speech. It's already live there, and you can see that's what it looks like. Okay, so I'm not going to put all the clues in, but let's check it's working. I'm going to copy in that one. This is what your learners would do, and then if you submit, hopefully I've got one right. Yeah, okay. And remember, you've created the exercise and the memo at the same time. Let's have a look at the exercise. It's going to my downloads. I hope. I don't know if it went. Let's just do it again. And I'll show you the memo. So you can use these, obviously, if you want to print and hand them out. There it is. And my memo has been created at the same time. Okay, sorry, I'm not downloading it properly. It's coming now. So you could show this on the board, etc. And there's my memo. So I've created both at the same time. And that is my missing word. So straightforward, so easy to do. I'm just going to go back and unpublish it. Okay, I'm getting a communication speed error. So hopefully that doesn't last. I'm just going back into that one. Remember, this is your edit button. I'm just going to edit it and I'm just going to unpublish it for now, which means it won't be live. Okay, there we go. I've done it. All right, let's go to a short text. Is there any questions about that? Although I can't see you typing questions, I'm sure Stuart and Estelle will help you if you want to ask a question. Let's go and have a look at an example of a short text. And I'm actually going to build almost exactly this short text. So I'm going to grade 5 history. And where are we going? How we find out this one. We're going to an exercise called sources of evidence. Okay, so what you can see here is there's an instruction, there's a question, and it's got an M. This shows that the teacher needs to mark it. It's a manually marked exercise. We're not going to go into that, how to do that in this session, but hopefully you've had training on that. Otherwise, there's tutorials in the resources section. So we're going to build something like this, very, very similar. This is what we call a short text. What is a short text? Okay, a short text is generally where there's only one line of text. If the learner needs more space, they can use this to add more, but you wouldn't use this for, let's say, an essay or a poem or a paragraph. You would choose paragraph text for that. They're both built in exactly the same way. Let's just go to a grade 4 English one so we can see, let's say, writing a descriptive text. I'm sure this would be a paragraph text. Here we go. So this one is built exactly the same way, but this would be a paragraph text because you're wanting them to write more than a sentence or more than 1 or 2 words. Okay, let's go do one. So actually, sorry, let me just go back to where I was because I actually want to copy in so we can be quick and build it nicely. I'm just going to copy in. Again, you can copy from your own notes. I'm just going to copy this in. So let's go back to educator exercises. And we're going to go on the plus button to build a new one. And we're going to go to details. I'm going to call this sources of evidence. And the subject is history. Again, you must populate all of these details here. It's grade 4. And the unit is, I think it's local history. And the modules is how we find out about the past and present. I'm going to publish it because I want to show it to you. Ticking history here. And I'm saving. So I've set it up now. And now the next step, again, exactly like every other one, is I go to the preview page, plus, and I can choose short text or I can choose paragraph text. But let's say this is a short text, they're exactly the same. So, okay, all I'm going to do now is I'm going to enter my activity instruction in, which I copied, which is just answer the questions below. And I'm going to delete my dummy block. Okay, so far so good. So I am going to do this. I'm actually going to allocate some marks to this. And I've designed this to be 8 marks. So I'm going to, you can obviously do as many questions as you want. I'm only doing a few just for the demo. Right, so the first question I'm going to put in is a 1-mark question, and I'm going to put number 1, explain what primary source is. Oops. Okay, and I'm going to put there so the learner knows it's worth 1 mark. Okay, sorry, let me just correct my spelling error there. So there's 1 mark. And I spelled explain incorrectly. There we go. Okay, so I'm done with my question. I'm just going to save it because I'm scared about the electricity and the power going off. I'm going to add another block where I'm going to put my answer. So I add my block and I go to short text. Okay, here we normally say something like learners' answers will vary. I'm just going to copy these answers in from the PDF of this exercise just to save a bit of time. I probably won't copy everything in because, okay, that's the module, sorry. I'm just going to copy from this document. So you can copy and paste, obviously, from your own documents. So my answers here, I'm just going from the PDF and I'm just copying it in just to save us time for now. But we normally put learners' answers will vary and then the example. So I've got my whole answer there. I'm just going to go back to this. I just want to paragraph space it so it's not squashed. And I've saved it. Okay, I basically now set my exercise up. I'm going to copy down that and I'm going to copy down my answer block. So I'm going to put in my second question, which is explain. Oh, I've got it wrong again. Sorry, I'm trying to type too quickly. Explain what a secondary source is. There we go. Then what secondary sources for 1 mark. Again, I'm going to put I'm just going to copy my answer in. Okay, obviously you would type your answers in, but this is supposedly a time-saving thing. So I'm going to take my answer from there and I'm going to paste that in. So you can paste from a Word document or from a PDF. So here's my questions, my 2 questions for 1 mark, okay? I'm just going to save this. I want to add 2 more questions, but I want to weight them higher. I want to give them 3 marks each. So what I'm going to do now is close this, and I'm going to add another activity on top of here, which is going to also be, it could be a paragraph text because there's more writing, but let's just make it a short text. I'm going to make another short text question activity there. All right, so I don't need instructions because I'm basically continuing with my exercise, but this is because I've given a different weighting to the question. So I'm on question 3. I'm going to say list 3 ways of finding out about the past. Okay, and that will be 3 marks. I think for time's sake, I'm not going to put all the answers in. I'm just going to just show you how we've grouped it together. It's very easy, as you can see. So I'm going to then add my block, and I would put in my short text, and then I'm just going to say blah, blah for now. Okay, so you would obviously put your answer in there. Okay, this is now 3 marks. I want to show you afterwards how we're going to assign this. Question 4 is copied. List 3 ways of finding out about the present. Okay, that's my question. It's 3 marks, and I have to copy my block, my answer block, and again, I would put my text in. Okay, it won't copy every time you put, when you copy a question, it will copy the question, and you can just change it, but when it's the answer, it won't copy the answer, you have to enter it. Okay, so I'm done. Okay, I'm not putting all those answers in, but let's just have a look at it. So what I've done is created, you can see, 2 activities in 1 exercise. The reason I've done that, it will become clear now when we go and assign it to our learners. So it's 8 marks, 1 mark, 1 mark, and then 3 and 3. Okay, so any questions on that, you can ask in the chat, but let's go have a look at it and see what it looks like. So I've put this in grade 5 history, and I've put it in how we find out. There it is, sources of evidence. It's already live. And remember, I've got, you can't see it's 2 separate activities here. It looks like 1 exercise, which it is, but remember, I've grouped this together. Now let's go and assign it then to our learners, and you'll see why. You'll see this is activity 1 and this is activity 2, and I'm going to weight them different marks. So let's go into how we assign it. I hope you all know how to do this. Let's make it for Friday. Let's assign it to a class, and let's make it homework. I'm not going to put the description in just for time. Next. The exercise details are all pre-populated. Next. Okay, here we go. So now you'll see it shows 2 different activities. So there's 2 questions there, and the score is 2. We're going to leave that because remember they're worth 1 mark each. And then we've got part 2, which is our questions are 3 marks each. So we're going to change this to get to our 8 marks. Okay, so sorry, that should be 6, I beg your pardon. And the total will then be 8 marks. Okay, so that's why we split that into, because of the weighting of the questions. Okay, that's all you do. And there we go, 1 attempt, and it's now assigned, so the learner will see that in their calendar. Okay, so let's look at it again. So remember now with the exercise, I can print the exercise, I can download it, I can PDF it. There it is. Let's just see if we're happy with it. Okay, there it is. And see, it gives you 1 line of text here. So if you wanted, basically, I would say probably for questions 3 and 4, probably should have been paragraph text because you want more space. So it will give you 4 lines of text there. Okay, so let's look at the memo. Let's make sure we're happy with the memo. And here we go. There's the memo. Remember, I just put blah, blah in there, but I put the answers in there. So I have created a manually marked short text or paragraph text exercise there that you can use anytime for any subject, for all sorts of things. I think it's obviously one that's going to be the higher level of Bloom's, and yeah, you'll use it a lot. We do generally, if we look at one of the assessments quickly, we generally have the higher order manually marked questions at the end of the tests. So at the beginning, we have all the auto-marked, all the easier stuff, and at the end, like let's look at this one here, there we go. Part 4 will have the manually marked questions here that can't be marked by the computer. Okay, so remember that was all good and quick, 16:25, so we've got a few more minutes just again to direct you back to resources. And in resources, we're just updating all of these. They will be live and updated this week, so we're just busy with them now. If you go to the tutorial called Educator Exercises, you will actually see what we've done today. You can, as an attachment, you could download it, or you can just look at it on the screen. If you need to make your screen bigger, you can do so in your browser, and then you can just review what we've done today. I can say, yeah, go and have a go at it. So it will show you everything we've done also in the previous sessions, adding an attachment, manually marked, which is the short text and paragraph. This is how to do it. It's on one slide there. Yeah, it's 5 simple steps there. And hidden answer we've done last week. Multiple choice we've done. True or false we've done. This is the one we did today. Missing word or number activity. Just one simple slide which will show you how to do it. Just going to make this smaller. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to log out, and I'm going to also just remind you to have a look at our YouTube channel. And on our YouTube channel, you will see our playlists, and you will see the My Cyberwall playlist for educators. And if you click on there, I'm not going to play them, you will see the exercise builder, missing word, and the short text paragraph. It's number 3. You can watch, not this session, but it's a previously recorded session, and you can watch it there. So next week, we're going to be doing the drag and drops, which are great fun. I'm sure you'll enjoy that. I'm going to come back into the session and stop sharing my screen. And yeah, that's for next week, Tuesday. Hopefully you can join us then. Don't forget to fill in the poll before you go. Hope everyone's enjoyed it, and I hope you're going to go and practice now and build your missing word or missing number and your short text activities. If you do have any questions or you're confused about what to do, you can email us anytime, support@mycyberwall.co.za. And one thing I would like to ask you to do is please don't forget to go to the School Advisor website to give us a review and to give us a rating. It really helps us when our clients go and give us a review. Maybe Stuart can quickly post that link, or Estelle can post the link to School Advisor. If not, if you go to their website and just put in My Cyberwall, and you can write a review about us, we'd really appreciate that, and thank you very much. So next week is the drag and drop, the 2 types of drag and drop, which is using a picture, like labeling a map or labeling an insect, for example. A really nice one to do. And we will do the other one, which is called the drag and drop grid. So it's 4 o'clock next Tuesday. I see the link is there. And yeah, if you've got any further questions, we'll stay on for a while. I'm turning my camera off now. So thanks very much for attending, and hopefully you found it quite straightforward, and then you'll have a go. Okay, bye everybody.